Hello friends, looking at current affairs for 24th May. The news items picked up from the Hindu newspaper are these 10. We'll look at them in detail. The first one, 22 die in Manchester attack. IAS claims responsibility. So we know about this attack which took place in Manchester after a concert here in UK. So in this, IAS has claimed responsibility. It was a suicide attack in which the person involved has been identified as a 22-year-old British man whose parents had immigrated from Libya. Then next is India hits back, destroys Pakistani posts on LOC. So India has again initiated action on LOC and Pakistan army camps have been targeted. Army posts. So Pakistani army posts have been targeted because India claims that they were assisting infiltration. So this has been the claim made by India. Pakistani sources deny that not many of its posts were destroyed as such. And this is the third time and during the present government's rule that such attacks have taken place. Last, we had also known those were called as the surgical strikes, highly publicized too, when the forces had entered across the LOC and attacked these army camps. The next is a Hyperloop pod to zip between cities. So this is regarding pod design competition. So this POD pod, the way a piece is in a pod means an enclosure. So an enclosure in which passengers can sit or in which even goods can be taken. So such an infrastructure facility for transportation is a new concept which has been developed. This Hyperloop concept has been developed by or envisaged by the founder of SpaceX. SpaceX organization, you must be knowing about it too, the Falcon rocket, the Dragon spacecraft, these have been developed by them. They are also servicing International Space Station. It's actually a private sector company, a private sector aerospace company, which plans to even, commercialize space travel as well. So inhabit Mars as such are also its, aims as such. So this SpaceX Foundation leader, Elon Musk, has conceptualized this as a Hyperloop concept, and now they have a competition, pod design competition, in which those who enter into this competition have to design such a pod. So the target is that they have to have a scaled down pod prototype. Means a pod generally would have more passengers and more capacity, but presently only one passenger seating capacity pod has to be developed, which can traverse 1 mile long evacuated tube in a vacuum. So that Hyperloop concept is this, that what you would have is there will be a particular pod, a capsule as such, and this would move across a tube. So this is the tube which is shown here. So this you can see is a compressor. So this compressor sucks air. So when air is out means there will be a vacuum here. So under minimal pressure, minimal air resistance, it will be a low pressure tube here. So near vacuum conditions in which this tube, this pod can easily move. So it can move at more than aircraft speeds as well. So this high speed transportation can be developed through this concept, Hyperloop concept. So here you can see. So magnetic levitation system would be there to power the pods. How would the pods move? Through magnetic levitation across this tube. So potential speed would be around 700 miles per hour, means Los Angeles to San Francisco distance covered in 35 minutes as such. So this has been conceptualized, and now there's a pod design competition by SpaceX, which will be held in August. And from India, there is this one company which has been selected, one team. So this is a team of around 25 students from premier colleges in the country. So this Hyperloop India is the team which is going to participate, and they'll build this pod which they have called as Orca pod. So this pod prototype is being developed by them. So this is presently in use. Then next is CAG report slams Vizhinjam pact. So this is regarding Vizhinjam Seaport project. So this is a greenfield project, means a deep sea port is planned to be developed by Kerala in Thiruvananthapuram. So this port, for this deal has also been signed. So this agreement which has been finalized, it's a PPP, public-private partnership project. So for this, the deal which has signed has provided for concession period of 40 years. But generally, CAG has highlighted that generally for PP projects, standard concession period is 30 years. So why there is more time, more 10 years given? So this would result in additional revenue for the company involved. The company involved here is Adani Ports and SEZ Private Limited. So they will be having the advantage and government would be at a loss. So that is what has been highlighted by the CAG in its report. So this other points also, modification in the concession agreement have also been done according to CAG, and this were done that by the government, Kerala government, on the premise that it will bring in more clarity in the deal. But then because of that the additional modifications which were done, this resulted in more costing for the government. Government had to pay more support amount as such, which resulted in interest loss. So this has also been highlighted by the CAG. So this has come before as such. So this is the Vizhinjam Greenfield project, means it's a 5,000 crore seaport project which has been planned. So presently under construction. Then next is India has moved from brain drain to brain gain. So this is the Minister for Science and Technology, Mr. Harshvardhan, who is saying that India has seen over 1,000 Indian scientists who are working abroad returning to India in the last 2-3 years. So the statement now given is brain drain means people study here, they acquire qualifications, educational qualifications, and then they go abroad and work there. So that is called brain drain. So India's brain is drained out of the country. And now since these scientists are coming back, so it is called brain drain. So this is brain gain which is happening presently. So even the minister is highlighting that it's because of various schemes and scholarships, fellowships which are provided by the government that they are coming back. But then the media also highlighted that this has been there for decades now. So why the recent last 3 years are seeing Indian scientists returning? So the minister says it's the confidence in the government which they have. This is a fact. So another program has also been planned to be launched for NRIs, non-resident Indians, so that they can come and work here. So this is called Vajra, which is Visiting Advanced Joint Research Faculty Scheme. So this scheme will be there for accomplished NRI scientists. They'll be given an opportunity to undertake research work in India for a maximum period of 3 months every year. So they can do research, and this will grant them the status of an adjunct faculty in an Indian institute throughout the year. So this status would also be provided to them. So this program is also to be launched by the government. He has also highlighted that CSIR, Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, this has also played an important role in developing various science and technological projects, especially highlighted the Tejas, light combat aircraft, which has been recently inducted into the Air Force. An important role was played by CSIR too. So scientific organizations in India are also contributing is highlighted. The next is NGO evolves blueprint to end female genital mutilation. So this female genital mutilation is a practice in various communities. In India, it is specifically has been in news with respect to Dawoodi Bohra community. So here it is called Khatna. So this is a terminology which is used. So in this, the female's genital organs are mutilated. So this is an age-old practice which still continues, but now a group of Dawoodi Bohra women have come together and are emphasizing that the government should take action on this. So there are various countries which have had laws, which have brought out laws criminalizing female genital mutilation, but India does not have any specific such law, though the present laws, gender laws, can also be put into effect for this purpose, but India does not have a specific law. The Minister of Women and Child Development, Maneka Gandhi, she had made a strong statement earlier that government will bring a law to ban this practice of female genital mutilation if the community does not stop it voluntarily. So this is the thing. So in Khatna also, it cuts the part of a clitoral hood or prepuce of the genital part of girls as young as 7 years. So this is highlighted here, you can see. So female genital mutilation is actually put into effect because it is considered as a symbol of chastity. It is considered to reduce the sexual urge of females. Male circumcision is also undertaken. So the genital circumcision as such, which happens for males, that has evidence of some benefit as well. So that in that, World Health Organization has also highlighted that it reduces the risk of spread of sexually transmitted diseases, especially HIV. And it has also recommended that if possible, it should be done in African countries where HIV is endemic. But with respect to female genital mutilation, there is no such evidence of any medical benefit of it, and it is a psychological trauma for the young girls. So this is a point highlighted here. The next is Africa a top priority, Modi. So we had already discussed African Development Bank's annual meeting for the first time will take place outside Africa, and it is being held in Gandhinagar in Gujarat. So the Prime Minister was also here inaugurating this meeting, and he emphasized on India-Africa relations. He says the commodity trade with Africa is much more than India and US commodity trade as well. So our relations are expanding. Even Africa accounts for nearly 1/5 of Indian overseas direct investments. Means Indian private sector is also investing in Africa. So this is also there. Then he's also speaking about how the relations are different from other countries. So where we have also facilitated job creation, but we have not tried to, try to intervene in the country's internal affairs. So this is there. Also, a military assistance is also provided, training to various chiefs of armed forces of African nations come and get trained in Indian military institutions. Even various former presidents, PMs and vice presidents of African nations have also acquired the education or training in India. So this has also been highlighted by the Prime Minister here. Also on the sidelines, 5 African nations have also signed the International Solar Alliance. This is the initiative of India of November 2015. We have already discussed this International Solar Alliance in detail yesterday, because Nauru, a country, has ratified this, became the 6th country to ratify it, International Solar Alliance agreement. So this 5 nations have, African nations have signed, not ratified. So there's a difference between signing and ratifying. Signing an agreement means you agree, accept the terms and conditions as such, but ratifying makes that agreement legally binding on you. So all those provisions you have to adhere to. So signing is just agreeing, okay, whatever is mentioned is right. But ratifying means that you have to, whatever is mentioned in right, and you have to follow it too. You're bound to follow it. So that way. So these are the trade relations also shown here. So Africa, it's a huge continent here. Even we are presently seeing that to reduce the influence of China, even other nations are also coming together. Even India is taking assistance from Japan, Germany and USA also to bring in, bring assistance here in Africa and also provide facilities here to counter China. So this is the So here you can see the trade relations also. Also, the Prime Minister has highlighted that in the last 3 years, not a single African nation is there which is left out. Some minister has visited every African nation in the last 3 years. So this also highlights India-Africa relations as such. Then the next news item is FTA will be high on agenda in Modi-Merkel agenda. So this is regarding India-EU BTIA. Broad-based trade and investment agreement, also called bilateral trade and investment agreement. So this is being negotiated amongst the two groups since 2013 and presently has been deadlocked. There have been 16 rounds of negotiations, but it has not resulted in finalizing this trade and investment agreement. So there are concerns involved here. So now when Prime Minister Narendra Modi would visit Berlin and meet German Chancellor Angela Merkel, it is expected that this BTIA would be high on agenda. Also, bilateral investment treaties are there with various countries presently. So, from EU also around 23 BITs are there, and all these BITs have presently lapsed in March 2017. So, the thing is that India has developed a model BIT. So, on the basis of this, it wants to renegotiate all BITs, bilateral investment treaties with various countries. So, even India-Germany BIT has also lapsed. So, this is also there. So, if this BTIA comes into effect, then there will be no need for bilateral investment treaties as such. And what this bilateral investment treaty, the model BIT which India has developed, calls for is that when there is a foreign investment coming in and the foreign investor has any dispute, then it should first exhaust all the avenues, the adjudication which is possible within the country before going for international arbitration. So this is a major point which is there in model BIT, because with respect to Vodafone 2, we have seen that we have been dragged to international arbitration in which we have resulted in humiliation as such. So that is why this is one point as such put in these. This is there, and BTIA also, the concerns which were there as mentioned here too, you can see. The issues were with respect to high taxes, market access, and India's concerns over visas for skilled workers. So here this is mentioned in detail too, you can see. So India is pushing for improved market access. We want market access in EU. So especially mode 1, market access which is to be emphasized on, and even mode 4 that covers movement of skilled professionals. So this is there. So mode 1 would be benefiting BPOs and KPOs, IT enabled services, etc. can be, means what from here we are providing services in countries abroad, that is called mode 1. Mode 4, final mode of services, is when professionals, when people, individuals, they go and provide services in the country where it is consumed as such. So this is there. So we are pushing for services access, and what other thing we want is data secure status. So EU has not provided us with data secure status. So once India is accorded this data secure status, the cost of compliance with existing data protection laws will be eliminated. So this is there. Otherwise, even smaller Indian firms will not be competitive in EU market. So data secure status is also being demanded. And what EU wants to open, that India should open up mode 3 services. So this is easing FDI in multi-brand retail, insurance, legal services. So mode 3 means of services means the foreign entity comes and establishes itself here and provides services here. So this is there. Also another is cars and wines. So cars and wines are two areas which EU wants market access for, and along with agricultural goods also. So it wants India to cut duties on auto components also. This is another sector in which it is looking at the market here. So it wants lower tariffs on wines and spirits also, which will be imported from EU. So this has been emphasized on by EU, and this is what India wants. And these negotiations are still going on, and they are stuck. Then the next news item is India eyes $1 trillion digital opportunity. So India wants to become a digital economy worth $1 trillion by 2022. Presently, our digital economy is estimated to be about $270 billion. So majorly the sectors which empower it, which fuel it, are fintech, financial technology, communications, e-commerce, cyber security, and electronics. So now we are looking to achieve $1 trillion status, and for this we have roped in the consultancy firm McKinsey, which will draw a roadmap how to achieve this target. So it will be concerning even what government needs to do, what industry needs to do, even specific sector wise, healthcare, education, what steps need to be taken to achieve this target. So this is in news. And the last news item is space sperm delivers healthy mice. So this space sperm, a sperm which was in space for over 9 months, it was frozen and dried sperm sample of a mouse, and this was launched in 2013 to International Space Station. It was returned back to Earth in 2014. So intense radiation in space resulted in slight DNA damage of this sperm too, but after that in vitro fertilization was done on the ground, healthy offspring was born, and even these baby mice have grown into adults and they have normal fertility of their own. So this is the news presently. So International Space Station is a station which is in low Earth orbit, orbiting in low Earth orbit, and this is a collaboration or project of 5 space agencies, which is NASA, Roscosmos of Russia, European Space Agency, JAXA, Japanese Space Agency, and even Canadian Space Agency. So these are the 5 space agencies involved in this project, and they undertake experiments here at International Space Station to understand how in space humans can live in space, and other experiments are being conducted for this purpose. So this is one of the experiments done here. So these are the news items. Thank you.